Hi, I'm Angify. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings.
And ourselves.
We stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this giant world. He was among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in us all. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find, a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a better place, a whole new world love you, oh loves. Do you have those? Do you wanna share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have those? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share?
Hi, everyone. Robert Gregory is here. And you know you can like, share, and follow him on BandLab, on YouTube, and pretty much everywhere. He's followed with DistroKid. Make sure you go ahead, check him out everywhere. I'm telling you, everywhere. He's look at Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud. You're not gonna want to miss this. Hi, how are you?
Hey!
It is so good to meet you.
Oh, you too. Thank you for having me on here.
Oh, thank you for being here. This is so exciting. I can't wait to learn more about you.
No, honestly, the pleasure's all mine. Like, honestly, I thought this was like some secret invite club, and I thought, oh my god, this is gonna be me one day.
No secret invite club, obviously. You're always invited. Okay, so I want to know, where did your great grandfather come from to instill such beautiful genes into you that just made you who you are to really pump out such amazing music?
You know what? It's funny you say that. Like, as far as I can honestly tell you, none of my actual family was actually musically inclined. I kind of broke the cycle and kind of started this new wave of just, you know what? It's funny. I think I remember just waking up one day and went, I'm going to shred the guitar. And it's literally just started one day. Yeah, it literally just started. And I remember picking a guitar up and just, I picked up one for what, 30 quid here or $40 or whatever. And I just started like, literally, I could not play it to save my life. I was like, no. But it was at that point, I just fell in love with it and thought, no, I'm going to actually take the time and learn how to do this. And then next thing I know, I then just learned what I needed to learn. And then it just progressed from there.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
How about the writing?
So the writing, I didn't really start writing music until probably a good year after like actually learning to play guitar. That's when I really got my hands into songwriting. So my wife actually, she was at college actually doing a music degree. And one of the assignments was that she needed to have 4 original pieces written as part of the curriculum. So I was like, right. And she came to me, he was like, look, I've got this project. Please, can you help? I was like, so I was like, do you know what? Hell with it. Let's go with it. And I was really fortunate because my guitar tutor was also like quite well versed with Cubase. If many of you obviously know it. And he was like, look, I can help you. I was like, dude, thank you. And so I literally remember it was about 5 to 6 guitar lessons worth. And we were literally going through everything. It's like, right, this is how this works and blah, blah. So he was really teaching me the theory and how a song should kind of go together. So, and then I just remember I was honestly shitting bricks, if I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I was sitting there like during the first one, like, oh my God, am I going to do this? And next thing I know, I've just written all these pieces for it. Like, I've written these 4 pieces for her. They were terrible. No, I say no. Actually, one turned out really well. The other 3 were not too bad. But that's what I think paved the way for me, because I had to start somewhere, and like everyone does. So I had to. So I had these 4 pieces, and I thought, right, how do I, and then as I went on in life, I was like, right, how do I develop these? And I remember actually coming back to one, and it just basically just went from there. So that's this was like 10, 11 years ago now. I started playing roughly off the top of my head.
So then that green beautiful piece behind you, that's not your first baby.
Oh no,
but that's your current baby.
Oh, but actually I've gone for a few guitars in life, so this is probably my 6th or 7th. So I have got 2. So I've got this one here. They are both Ibanez's because I just love the way they feel. Like they are just absolutely incredible. The neck's just so smooth, and I can actually like play whenever but yeah, the color of it is just like, she's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
Oh my god. But yeah, I was very lucky to pick that one up, and because I went to my local guitar shop and they only had one of those left out about, and they're like, look, and luckily enough, I was really good friends with some of them there.
And they had one left?
Yeah.
And it was yours, and it had your name written all over it right from the door.
Well, the moment I went to my friend Paul, who actually works there still, he was like, look, you're looking to buy a guitar today? I was like, yes. He was like, right, come with me. And then he literally picked this one out. I was like, I'll take it. Let's go. And that's literally how that one went. And that
was love at first sight.
It really was. Like the moment I started playing it, I was like, dude, this feels so awesome. I was like, let's go. Let's go.
Oh, so awesome.
But I have another one here, obviously, which is my other main baby, which is this one here. So again, another Ibanez. Kind of like it was. Thank you. Like this was actually based off the very first, my first proper guitar that I ever bought with my own money, and I wanted something very similar to it. It was, if I remember correctly, it was the code RGA 32. It was the very the first models of it, like back in 2010, and I fell in love with that. That was like my ultimate guitar. I had that for like 6 years, and then I broke it. I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I kind of dropped it, and then next thing I know, I just watched the neck just go, no!
Oh,
yeah, so it wasn't the prettiest side. Oh, honestly, but I cannot fault these two. These have been my absolute staples since, obviously, like last good 5-6 years of my playing style.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful babies.
Thank you. There only cost me one arm and the other, you know.
Right? So let me ask, when did you start on BandLab?
So I started on BandLab probably, it was about November or December 2020. So it was during so when England came into the second lockdown, I'm going to retract that a little bit. So it was about January 2021, because it was during the second lockdown that we had, which went from December 2020 to about March 2021. And I was fortunate enough to kind of have this sort of studio setup that I've got. I mean, my desk has obviously changed since then, but I had a little starting setup, and I was like, right, I need to be able to play music, or I need to do something, because the weather was absolutely terrible. So there's no point going outside. We were locked in. I was like, what the hell do we do? And then I'm trying to think, I think a friend of mine actually kind of told me about it. So I was like, okay, well, let me check this out. And also I was looking to get a new DAW for my laptop, because I actually recently, or before that, during that time, just before the second lockdown kicked in, I bought my gaming laptop, which I use as my studio laptop, and I needed a DAW to obviously run things. So that's when I came across a YouTube channel called Creative Source, who actually very much encourages Studio One, but also Cakewalk for BandLab, which, if many people don't know, it used to be under the name Cakewalk Sonar until the actual company themselves kind of went a bit skew with, got bought out by Gibson, nearly ran it to the ground, and then BandLab actually bought the rights off of Gibson for Cakewalk. And since then, they've updated it and kept it as pristine as it has. And so I was very familiar with it. So I was like, well, I'm going to get that. How much is it going to cost me? Nothing. It's not even going to cost me a dime. So straight away, I went and downloaded that. And then that's when I found out about, also then like kind of found more BandLab. And so that's when I actually got started on that.
Yeah, and Cakewalk was one of those apps that studios paid for back in the day. They
Yeah,
spent an easy $200 plus on that program. And then so it was like, if you have BandLab, you get Cakewalk for free. What? 2 gems in one? Sold.
Precisely. Like, if I reckon, like, if it was still under Cakewalk's name, you'd probably pay £400 to £500, which would probably be $600 maybe for what it is now. And that's incredible. Like, they're actually giving it to you for free.
Yeah.
And it's fully functional.
Right?
Like, it's like daylight robbery.
Absolutely. I hope BandLab lives for a very long time and it continues to evolve and grow.
Same here. I came into that.
And not fade away. Like one of your songs, Fading Away.
Very true. It's yeah. It is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it is probably one of the most creative pieces that musically I have written. And actually, it was a bit of a funny story. Like, I remember writing the first draft of it a few months ago, and it only took me 2 days to write, literally start to finish, the whole piece. Wow. It obviously changed like bits and pieces here and there.
Right.
And when I invited Matt Glass to actually join me on this track, he obviously listened to it. It was like, right, I mean, look, maybe make a few changes. Like, dude, this is what we're here for. You know, it's not just a one-man army. So
that's like, where the magic is.
Absolutely. You know, as they say, two heads are better than one, and 4 hands are better than 2.
That's right.
So, and he obviously did his magic. Obviously, we went back and forth, and he then obviously laid all the vocals down. And when I started listening to it, I was like, dude, this is powerful stuff, man. And because the actual topic itself, it's not an easy one. Like, no. It's to do about the story is some. As a general whole, it's for someone who's kind of watching someone have dementia and watching their memories of themselves and other people around them like slowly dissipate and fade away. Like, it's not a nice thing to see, and it's not a nice thing for anyone to go through. So I hope I do Matt enough justice by describing this for it. We kind of hope it's a piece that will help people cope with that reality, and that no one's alone in having to go through that.
Dementia is not easy. Dementia is not easy at all. You know, and I know, like, it's, you kind of look at dementia, and I know when my mom passed, instead of looking at it as dementia or fading away, as your title is, I kind of look at it as those photographs that were on the mantle. Because after a while, the color starts fading, or they get stuck to the glass, or, you know what I mean, and completely get destroyed. They, you know, it's like they were memories that just. So
that's a really cool analogy, actually. I like that concept, but yeah, it's not an easy thing, and so. No. But no, so I hope it does some people some good, and I really hope it helps people. You know.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's listen to it and check it out.
Let's do it.
Yay!
Hey!
We have Fading Away, a tale of how dementia can grip the unsuspecting and how it's not always easy coming to terms with how it can unfold. Original metal instrumental made by me at Bobby560. All hashtag lyrics, vocals, and production by @Glass Garden. Fire, guitar, dope. And there you have Fading Away at Glass Garden and at Bobby 560. Yay! I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You sent me some awesome tracks, so like this is absolutely amazing and it's gonna be so wonderful.
Yeah.
So wonderful to be able to share these. Oh goodness.
Oh, honestly, again, thank you so much for this. Like, this is so awesome.
Oh my goodness, you're awesome.
Yay!
Okay, so I have to ask about Life Defies Gravity.
Okay, so this one particularly, I wrote this about 7 to 8 years ago. So this was kind of like, it was a work in progress. It basically just developed into this ballad piece that I just somehow wrote. A method of my method of kind of writing is I kind of start with, I sometimes start with a synthesizer. I'll just play a melody, play around with it. And I have a method called the rule of 5. What I mean by that is if I do something on guitar, if I program a drum loop or something, if I listen to, like, for example, if I do something on the guitar and 5 times, that's what I stick with. Like I could be noodling or just riffing away, and someone might catch my ears. I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll play that, but then sometimes I'll play it differently, and like from the last, and I'll just keep going until I get to something I stick with 5 times in a row, and then that's my kind of basis. And I try to play piano, and I absolutely suck ass at it. I cannot do it to save my life. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. I literally have, hang on, I'm going to unplug this. I bought, something like this. So I got a little just
so
a MIDI
cute.
keyboard. Oh, honestly, it was like a limited edition, white edition they did. I was like, dude, I like that. But I had something like far different ages ago, and I was like, right, okay, let's see if I can do something. And again, I just did that and just played with that same rule. And then that's how I actually got the intro melody for the little pluck synthesizer. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll play with that. And then suddenly it just then developed and developed, and then it just became this absolute, like, what the heck, like, how did I do this? But I have to give credit where credit is due, because if it wasn't for Giulietta, who wrote the lyrics and all that, it wouldn't be what it is. Because when I actually started on BandLab, obviously everyone starts at zero, if you like. And after a little while, I got invited to join her little group called Gigi's band. So obviously I started talking to everyone. I was like, cool. I was like, right. So I posted, I put a few tracks on the band's poll, if you like. And then she listened to it. I was like, dude, can I work on this? I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then it must have been about 2-3 days later, she just showed me the first draft. So I was like, how the fuck did you do this? This is incredible. And then she just obviously did her final tweaks and stuff. And then next thing you know, she turned around to me and goes, yeah, by the way, it's going on Spotify in 2 weeks. What? Are you kidding me? So that's actually it's actually my first ever track that's actually on Spotify, and it's actually under her name. So she's got so many other tracks that she's done, and that she's like, no, I'm going to put up. I was like, if you're happy, I would like to put it on there. Please do, please. Yes. And also, like, to kind of find things on Cakewalk that when I'm doing my projects, I just randomly title them. Sometimes I don't give any thought as to what goes on. I just type what kind of comes out of my head first and go, yeah, that'll do.
Oh, well, that's much better than Untitled.
Very true, very true. I just think random words, or I think of a phrase, and that's pretty much how that came out. And so that's how Life Defies Gravity stuck. And it was obviously an instrumental for ages until Giulietta just went, I'm going to write on this. Okay, please do.
Absolutely. She is so amazing. So if you haven't checked her out, Cordy 2, make sure you go ahead, check her out as well. She is on everything. Spotify, as you said, BandLab, and so much more. Let's check out.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's check this out.
Go on then. Why not?
You're going to love it. This is Life Defies Gravity. And that was Life Defies Gravity. Oh, absolutely killer. You and Julietta nailed that.
Thank you so much. Like, honestly, like, when she showed me the draft and the final draft of her vocals, I was like, dude, do it. Just wow. Honestly, I literally had no words at that point. I was like, flipping hell, like this is sort of like some real deep, powerful, like it's you get one of those moments, it just literally takes you back. I mean, I was not expecting this, but my God, am I loving
Her
it.
voice is like no other.
Oh, for sure.
She
Absolutely, for
is
sure.
absolutely incredible.
Oh, honestly, like, hats off to her, seriously. When she said, like, I'm jumping on this now, no one touch it, I was like, right, fine, you can have it.
It's yours.
Honestly, that's what the chat was like when she first went on it. I was like, right, literally like, right, nobody touch this. This is mine. I was like, fine, okay, people kill me.
That's so awesome. Oh, I'm so excited. We have so much of like Robert Gregory that hasn't been discovered yet, still coming out, because listening to these pieces here, like, this is a total magic.
Thank you so much.
Your whole thing with like not a gene of music in your family, and you just like turned on that paintbrush.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't know how I did it. Like, I just like I said earlier, it's like it was just literally just picking up that guitar and I thought, okay, it looks like I'm doing this now. And then just as I just developed and just did more and more, I was like, oh my God, what can I do with this? Like, wow. So it was just like, I just fell in love with it. And I was like, I have not put it down since.
Well, good. I hope you never put that down.
I hope I never do either, honestly. Like, honestly, like, it has got, I'm so grateful for having the guitars that I've got and obviously the setup that I have. Like, I'm very fortunate enough to have been in a situation where I could literally just play to my heart's content, like, especially during the lockdowns. If it wasn't for this, my partner and I, well, my wife and I, sorry, should I say, we both agreed that I would have gone insane. I would have gone insane completely. Like,
she probably would have gone insane.
She would have gone insane with me. That is for certain.
Yes.
But also, I have to give major credit where it's due as well, because without her, like, I wouldn't be where I am. Like, I actually have some other things I do actually want to share out. And again, if it's not without her support, I wouldn't have been pushed enough to do this. So a couple of other things. So I am in a band as well here in the UK called Across the Kingdom. And they basically consist of some really good friends of mine that I have met since my time being down on the south coast of England. Because we're not originally from here. So we used to be sort of near London. And it was about 4 years ago that we moved over, and we were really fortunate enough to really come across some great amount of people. And during the second lockdown, believe it or not, I actually got asked to join Across the Kingdom. So I was like, great, yes, please. So we actually have 2 tracks out as well on there that I've been involved with, called The Prey and Calm Waters, the most recent ones that are on there. So I was involved with both of those. I have to admit, like, some fantastic pieces of work. Like, my friend Simon, who's the other guitarist, we were literally bouncing ideas back and forth with The Prey. And it was just like, it just fit together so well, like how we did this. Like, we didn't know. And then now we're trying to write more stuff for the next album. And it's just like, we got most of it done, actually. And some bits they're actually waiting on me to finish. I was like, oh God, I need to finish like writing the drum drafts. So it's just like, right, I need to get my head out of my ass and actually start getting on with it.
That's an incredible journey, though.
Oh, it is. But something else that came along with that. So the singer, Jake, another good friend, he's also the creator and developer for Moonbit Studios. So he's developed a series of games called Mr. Hopps's Playhouse. It's available on Android, iOS, and I believe Steam as well. And they've actually received some really cool exposure, actually. Some real big names on YouTube have even gotten hold of this. For people like Markiplier and Think Noodles, like well within the gaming community of YouTube. So he's in development of Mr. Hobbs's Playhouse 3. And he actually asked me a few weeks ago to write a piece for the final boss fight of that game. Yeah. So I was like,
awesome.
Thank you. And
congratulations.
Thank you. I literally got a call like 3 weeks ago. I sometimes work at my friend's coffee house that she owns on the weekends. And I was on my way back and I literally got an email, a couple of WhatsApp messages, and then suddenly a phone call. And then I was like, yes. He's like, dude, I need help. I was like, okay. Okay, the phone call actually never happened, so I was just trying to be funny. But basically, he got a hold of me and we basically were messaging back and forth. And he was like, look, I have this little piece of music. Can you listen to it? And then can you write something around that? I was like, oh, wow, okay. And he explained to me what it was for. And I was like, oh my God, dude, you're asked, this is like a big, big thing here. And I was like, well, okay, well, let me see what I can do. Yeah. And then I got home, loaded up all my gear. And then I was going through all my stuff that I was obviously playing. And what was really ironic was I actually had a track that fitted the BPM exactly to what he had on his hook. And it was also kind of the same key as well. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of like a very heavy A sharp minor thing got going on. And I was like, well, dude, before I go and write anything, how about if I send you this, just have a listen, see what you think. And then he literally comes back to me like 10 minutes later. And he's like, can you put the hook in somewhere? I was like, yes, I can. So I was like, right, give me 2 hours to really go over it. So basically replaced the old choruses with the hook. That became the new choruses. Obviously redid some of the tracking just to get rid of some nitpicky bits. Sent it across to him. I was like, right, what do you think of this now? He goes, yeah, how do you feel like I've been in the game? Yeah, do it.
Oh,
so that is my
awesome.
Thank you.
I love it, love it, love it.
Oh, it's so awesome. Like the game should be coming out March the 1st, but I haven't heard anything from him as of late. So I don't know if he's running into any technical problems on his end, or if there's any delays on his side. But as far as I know, it's coming out March the 1st on iOS, Android, and Steam. Mr. Hobbs's Playhouse 3. I feature in the final boss fight. I cannot wait to have everyone hear it.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yay.
Yeah, you're receiving everything there. You're the receiver, not deceiver.
I like what you did there. I like what you did. That is clever.
Yes. Everything happens for a reason. So that is just so awesome. Your whole journey, like learning like 10, 11 years ago, the whole start, your wife, like everything. It just seems like it's all coming together for you and everything's finally starting to show some meaning.
It really is. Like don't get me wrong, like I will always play like for me. Like I will always play because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to create something that I can say, my God, I'd make that myself. Like 15 years ago, I would not have even thought I would have had such a creative mind the way I do.
11 years ago when you picked up that guitar, you never imagined being in a video game.
No, I didn't. I literally had no idea whatsoever. And I will also put out there now, I do actually have a 3-track EP coming out on the 15th of March on all streaming platforms. And this is actually with Matt Glass, by the way. And actually the first track that we heard, Fading Away, is actually the first track on that EP. And we've even got a music video coming out for it, lyric video coming out on the 1st of March as well. But it's basically, it's just the start of something like massive. I have to give credit to Matt here because, well, not just him, but in this, like for right now, in this situation, it's like, I give credit to him fully because when I started working with him, like we would like sort of talking ideas and stuff, and then we just started working on some more music, and it was like, dude, this is this is like really developing well here. And then he was like, why don't we just get these out? It's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then suddenly, and that's when we actually first pushed out another track that we're going to hear later on. I'm not going to give it away just yet. And actually, the other track that's on Spotify right now under my name, or not just my name, sorry, is actually the next track we're going to hear, the Deceiver. This is actually another it's another personal track of mine, because it was one of the very first few that actually had vocals put on it. And I remember asking Raven to join me on it, and she was very happy to do so. She then even asked, she asked me on another project that she first started working with me if Johnny could come and join in. I was like, yeah, if you think that's going to work for yourself, if you think you can play off each other, do it. And next thing I know, you've just got this combination of, I'm going to say light and dark here, because they very much complement each other, but like in such a way. Like Raven's just got this voice where it's like really light, it's powerful, and it's airy, and it's so magical. And then you've got Johnny, who his screams, by the way, are on point. Like he's got some depth to him, like flipping hell. And it's just like the way he writes as well. They both complement each other so well. I cannot give them enough credit either.
Absolutely. To another great, amazing artist. Matt Glass is just phenomenal, just all the way around it. It's just a magic right there.
Absolutely. Like I will say this now, like massive disclaimer. If it is not for at Glass Garden, Raven Main, and Johnny Maltos, for you three guys, for Julieta, I cannot forget her. Without these four people, I would not be in a position where I am. So I actually want to say just to everyone, a massive thank you to all of you for being part of my journey, as well as me being a part of theirs. So thank you so much.
I love it. Okay, tell me about this Deceiver song.
Okay,
where did it come from?
So again, it came from just, I don't know. Like I'm gonna be really honest with you. Like, how I write stuff, I really don't know how I come up with these things.
Is it like a mindset? Like, is it like a dream that you had? Is it maybe you just start playing and you hear something and it just kind of takes you there?
Yeah,
kind of thing, because that happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the starting basis of where I start. And like going back earlier, when I say about the rule of 5, and I think I actually played. I'm going to play it right here now. Actually, just as a little sneak preview. I'm just going to quickly just turn that up, make sure that's actually good. Cool. So I was actually playing around with the sort of verse riff, and it sort of like just developed, and I was like, right, I can't fucking get this, and then suddenly I just literally started playing.
Unfortunately, it's cutting out.
And then I just like, oh my god, that's something, and then that's then how I started it, and then that's just literally how it played, and then it's like, oh my god, right, I've got to figure out how it transitions, and that's just literally how it just started developing. I was like, well, that's it. I'm getting on with it now. I remember saying to my wife, actually, I was like, please just give me an hour. I need to get this down.
Oh, I feel that.
Oh, honestly, once I have such a thing as well, that when I get into a rhythm, doesn't matter how late in the night I go, I have to finish where if I start writing something, I have to keep going until I physically cannot keep going. Otherwise, I will lose that momentum, and then it just loses all sparks. And then I'm like, well, what the hell have I written it for?
Yeah, you go back to listen to it, and it's just never the same.
No, it's not. And
the energy is completely different from that previous time.
100% there. And And then I say, when I got the first draft done, like I showed a few people, and then I was like, do you know what? I think this will actually fit Raven and Johnny really well. So then that's when I asked them both. I was like, look, would you guys want to come and join on this? Like, yes, please. So they came along, did their stuff, and there's the finished result. And then that's how it came to be. And then I asked Matt to, do a little engineering on it. I was like, dude, can you please help us make this shine? He was like, yeah, no problem at all. So I gave him all the tracks. So like how I work on BandLab is I basically just set up all the tracks as they are. So guitar 1, guitar 2, and I'll put all the drums in a single track because it only allows 16, and so my program won't allow me to obviously put all of them on there. So I'm like, right, if I just put that on there and also put the drum MIDI in as well with the mapping, then at least then you can kind of take that, and if you think the original drum sound won't work, fine, take it out and then use whatever you think. But at least he's got the drum MIDI there to at least base that off. And then, so when I heard the final draft of it, I was like, dude, like you made that intro shine like a motherfucker. Like, dude, I am catching this.
Well, let's catch the Deceiver.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
Go on.
incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. I have no idea. Like Raven and John, the way they came together.
Oh, honestly,
Man.
like they are such a combination. It's like they are such a driving force themselves. Like they deserve more credit for what they did. They absolutely outdone themselves.
Oh my gosh, you could say that again.
Oh, definitely. Has my video frozen by any chance?
Nope.
Oh, thank God. Okay, it looks like it's frozen on my side. It's like, oh shit.
Nope, you're good.
Oh, thank God.
You're good. You're not froze.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, so now you have to tell me, because I'm looking through these songs and I can't stop listening. I want to go more and more. Hearts Brave the Skies.
Oh, brilliant. So this is actually a little bit of a corny one. Basically, I actually wrote this, and my wife sort of knows of this. I actually wrote it for her. So it kind of symbolizes the fact that it doesn't matter how far, like how much shit hits the fan or anything like that. Like, as long as we stand side by side, then for us, doesn't matter what you throw at us, we're gonna fly above that, and we are gonna rain hell on everyone. Like, we are gonna show everyone what a driving force we are. And again, it comes back to the fact that without her giving me the support that she has over the nearly 13 years we've been together, it for me, like it was a song that I actually wrote roughly around the same time as I wrote Life Defies Gravity. It was actually before that. But again, it was just one of those that just developed the way it did. And I actually wrote lyrics for this as well. So, and it was just something for me to say, you know, no matter what's going to happen, or what's happened before, what's happened now, or what happens later on, like, we don't know what's going to happen. But I know one thing for sure: we stand together. We don't stand as two people. We stand as one. And that's pretty much kind of like where this comes from. And yeah, and it's off. It was one of my other favorite pieces that I've written. It was one of the very first few that I actually wrote from myself from start to finish. Then it was like, yeah, I like this. Let's do it.
I love it. It has such a beautiful meaning behind it too.
Thank you.
Oh. Now this is going to mean even more to me.
Yay! But yeah, and I have to admit, like, the solo itself, and you know, not trying to brag, it is one of my favorite solos that I've written, alongside the solo from Fading Away. This was like my accomplishment point, like, to actually say that I've written a really decent solo. I just don't know how I wrote it. I just did.
It's because your heart went into it.
Yeah, it
you
really
made
did.
it with love.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
All right, let's check this out.
Let's do it.
Hearts Brave the Sky. In this piece, it's Glass Garden, Johnny Maltos, Raven Moon, and Robert Gregory.
This is the day that we join together to take on the world. So watch us now as we take the ground. Our iron fist will take you down. When our hearts brave the skies, we will ride into the night. When it's our time to rise.
I didn't want that to end.
Honestly, that was such a track. Like when it all came together, I was just like, "Thank you so much, Raven." Like, I just got. It's just brilliant.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. Oh my gosh, I didn't want it to end. Like I said, I could have listened to that. Like, and your lead was exceptional.
Thank you. I was honestly, I was very astounded how it turned out, and I was like, that was like my accomplishment moment. Like when I wrote that, and it was like, it's a bit at the end. It's actually like a little tapping run. It's like it's just a very basic tap lick, but it's like I can actually tap. Oh my god,
that's awesome! You nailed it.
Thank you.
Absolutely nailed it.
Thank you.
All right, I have to ask before we play this last piece of Apocalypse, because it's going to be Apocalypse because it's coming to an end. I have to ask you if there was someone out there, maybe a younger you, that didn't have any musical inspiration, but one day sat down and said, "I'm going to play this." What advice would you give to them?
My piece of advice would be just go with what your heart says. And I say this quite strongly because you could be like, this kind of revolves around a lot of things, but in this instance, you could be especially at your starting out days, like you're going to be terrible regardless of, because you've just started picking something up new. Like you're not going to know the first thing on how to do it. You are going to be there are going to be times you are heartbroken, like because you can't do something right away or you don't understand something yet. Keep going at it. Like the worst thing you can do, and I actually did this for about a year. I actually put the guitar down and I didn't play it for a year, for a little while. And this was about like after my 4th year of playing. I was getting to a certain point. I was like, right, I'm not getting as good as I am. I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I was also at that sort of stage where, I was sort of enjoying life. So it kind of went on the back burner for a little bit. But then I realized like a year later why I picked it up in the first place and thought to myself, why the fuck did I put it down? So my biggest piece of advice is find out one thing that you absolutely love, and if you are rad at it, stick with it. Don't let it go, because one day that could be that one thing could literally turn your life around. When with maybe sometimes without you realizing it, but it will literally just turn your life around, and it has the potential to do that. Like from me, like finally letting go of the fact that I was, for a little while, was quite egotistical, like thinking, oh yeah, this is great, but I never actually did anything with them. And also, don't be afraid of criticism. This is a big one. True. This is a really big one, and I learned this the hard way, because not just before I joined BandLab, I actually submitted another track called "The Kingdom Falls," but it was an instrumental only at that point, and to a YouTube channel called Gear Gods, now called Trey Xavier. And basically it was like a songwriting contest where the first prize was a Rev Generator 100-watt amp head. And so whoever won it basically got this plus a load of other things. And I submitted the track. So it was technically unfinished, but I thought, oh yeah, that'll do. I got slammed hard. I was literally listening to it, and I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear. And I was like, fuck, what did I do wrong? And people obviously, some people was like, but the track was actually quite cohesive, but it's like still not the point. It wasn't complete. And I let that get to me for a little while. I was like, what the hell? And then I decided, I was like, right, no, this has got to stop. And so yeah, the one thing is, when you submit something, let people just understand what it is, and let listen to their feedback, because that's going to help you hugely. And it's going to help you improve as a person. It's going to help you improve as a musician. It's going to help you in so many ways that you might have not known something and they might know. You can learn that from them. It's all a learning experience.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't think I could have explained it any better.
It wasn't an easy one. It was literally like an absolute punch in the face.
It is.
Especially
then, because a lot of times when we get feedback that we don't like and we go through those points, before you realize that it is helpful and that is not meant to hurt you but help you.
Yeah, exactly.
You go through that with, now you're giving yourself black eyes because you start contradicting and thinking about yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you could have been onto something totally special there.
Yeah.
And because of that, you become your biggest critic. And you start changing things, and then the real you is gone. That energy, like you said, it's missing. It's taken away.
It is, absolutely. And I nearly put the guitar down again because of that. Like, because that was only last year. Like, no, sorry, it was a couple of years ago. Like, I think it was this side 2020, I think it was, that and the competition was on for. It was on for a little while, but yeah, like but again, it was a blessing in disguise, because had I not done that, I would have carried on that same cycle, and then I wouldn't have learned what I learned from that. And then, so really, I have thanks to Trey for that. So if he ever does see this, dude, thank you for roasting the shit out of me, but also thank you for at least giving me the chance for people to listen to it.
Yes. Oh. It is not the apocalypse and not the ending when that happens.
No,
it's just
never.
the beginning.
Love that.
Tell me about the apocalypse.
So, this is actually the first track that myself and Matt Glass actually ever collaborated on. We started talking, it must have been last year, I think it was, like probably, if I say July, I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to say in the ballpark, July to September, I think, that sort of time frame. Okay. I think I heard a song, Nagato, I think it was.
Oh, Nagato. Yes.
Absolute killer track, by the way. Please check that out.
Yes, do it.
So I started talking to him. It's like, dude, this is really cool, man. It's like, if you ever want to work on something, do it. And it literally just started off there. So he sent me an idea, which actually I still have on my hard drive on my laptop, which is great. I've also got the project on BandLab as well, so I can go back to it. Wow. But I really need to, because it was actually a really cool little bit. And then I had the beginning part of Apocalypse written down. And I was like, dude, well, I'm working on this as well. Once I get it developed, how about, let's see what you think. And he was like, yeah, let me know. So about a week or so goes by. So I finally finished it up, or at least the first draft, and then showed it to him. I was like, dude, this is really cool. I think we could really work on this. But I think we just need to tweak it up a little bit. I was like, brilliant. What do we need to tweak? So that's when we started our back and forth thing. I was like, right, do we think this works? Yes, go with it. If it doesn't, let's try something different. And eventually, it then became what it is. So, and again, I just titled it Apocalypse because it was just the first word that came to my head. I didn't think anything of it. It's like a word fart, but it was telepathic. It was like, oh, Apocalypse. Oh, okay, I'm going to type that then. There it is. And that's literally how it became Apocalypse. And then he wrote his lyrics and absolutely fucking nailed it. Yeah, so this is also going to point this out there. Also going to be, so we are also working on a collaboration album where I can give the title now. The title of the album will be called When Worlds Collide. And it's basically a collaboration album of myself, Matt, Raven, and Johnny. It's basically got tracks from all of us. Obviously, I wrote pretty much the music, but besides that, it's not just mine. and it just, it's kind of a way of symbolizing, doesn't matter where you are in the world, you know, anything is possible if you have the right tools and the right imagination. And I kind of want to give, you know, sort of homage or tribute to those three, you know, Matt, Raven, Johnny. They helped me shape what I've helped to create. So I kind of want to do that for them as well. So we've got a couple more tracks that are obviously in the pipeline. So do watch out for that. So I think I want to get Johnny and Raven on another one or two eventually. And then once we get all that sort of sorted out, get that all mixed and mastered and everything. And so we should have hopefully an album later this year.
I'm so excited. So it's not the apocalypse, guys. It is just the beginning. Whoa.
Damn right it is.
But it's gonna come with an explosion. Just saying.
Let's just say it is going to be a special punch in the face, but in the greatest way possible.
That's right. It's gonna feel like a kiss. A kiss goodnight, right?
Yeah, sounds well, one way. Certainly one way of playing it.
Let's go ahead. Let's check out the apocalypse.
Let's do it.
We have Glass Garden and Robert Gregory present the apocalypse.
Consequence will always catch up to us.
make sure to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Robert Gregory at Bobby560, BandLab, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Take a look at all of the great music and collaborators and collaborations. Be on the lookout for that new album. Oh, goodness. Robert Gregory, folks. Like, share, and subscribe. This has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you, honestly. Once again, thank you so much for having me on here. It has been an absolute blast.
I'm so glad you had fun.
I really did. Do you know what? I was partway through this, I was actually messaging Matt. I said to her, I was like, dude, I am so nervous right now. I was like, by the way, I'm doing this right now. And he's like, just have fun. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's awesome. Yes.
Oh, brilliant. He said, like, and he had nothing bad to say about you. He said that you were so fun. I was like, yeah, I agree. So honestly, thank you for making this as fun as it has been. Seriously, like it's been so cool.
Well, you are absolutely amazing. So thank you for letting me share and tap into your brain of
you're
where
welcome.
you came from.
You're welcome. Anytime. Do you have any other questions at all? Like anything you want to know or anything like that?
You plan on never stopping to play guitar or make music again, right? Well,
nope, correct.
Then the only question I have is, are you going to come back again and give us an update?
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. If you're happy for me to do that, I am more than happy to be back here again. So don't you worry.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Get in.
Well, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap up the interview at this point in time. And I'm going to tell you, you guys better go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. There's so much more coming. He's never going to quit. He's already said that, and we have it on recording.
You've heard it here first.
That's right. I thank you all for tuning in. And
honestly, thank you so much, everyone,
like,
for
share,
watching
and
this.
Subscribe.
Hey.
Yay.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate?